All right. Here's a video I've been wanting to do for a long time, but I never had the time to do it, but now I'm going to do it. This is a very difficult video, but it's definitely a video I've been wanting to do. And that is count down my top 10 favorite episodes of Batman the Animated Series. So a lot of people know it. I'm a huge Batman nut, and I love talking about the character, and I really really do love Batman the Animated Series. I think it is probably the greatest cartoon probably of all time, to be honest. And like being a Batman fan, this series is a huge, huge staple to the Batman community, as we call it. But this is probably the best Batman thing ever, and this series has been glazed a lot. It's been the number one Batman thing for many years, but I just I love this series to death. I can't, if I have a platform to talk about it, I'm going to use it cuz this really is the greatest. So, but again, this list is going to be very, very hard because there are a lot. And, I'm not meaning this lightly. Like, there are a lot of great episodes. Just narrowing it to 10, if I can fucking talk. Just bringing it down to 10 is very difficult. Like, there's like probably 40 to fucking 40 to 80 great episodes of Batman the Animated Series. It's just a very, very great series. Well written, if I can talk. Bruce Timm, Paul Dini, like back when they were at their A game. Now, not so much. But we're not going to get into that shit again. Um, but yeah, Batman the Animated Series. Fucking awesome. Kicked off the DCAU. I fucking love this series. So that's enough glazing the series in general. I could go on about the voice talents of the late, great Kevin Conroy as Batman, Mark Hamill as Joker, but we'll be here all day. You know, um, I am thinking about doing an episode to episode review, but I don't know. Um, but yeah, no, this is the video I've been really waiting to do. And it's been really hard just narrowing it down to 10, but I did it. It wasn't easy, but I did it. So, with no further ado, let's count down the top 10 episodes that I think are the best of this series. So, let's do it. Okay, number 10 is Beware the Grey Ghost. Now, this episode is amazing for many reasons. Okay, we have Batman, a dark, stoic character, having kind of is being like a fan to someone, like basically geeking out over this gray ghost. And, he actually seeks the gray ghost's help because there was something going on that was similar to an episode of that show called the Mad Bomber episode. So he needs the Gray Ghost help. And this is just a great episode. Okay, so obviously, what makes this episode really great is the guy who voices the Gray Ghost. It is none other than the original Batman actor to play Batman in the 1960s Batman series, and that is Adam West. Now, that's what makes this really great because you have basically two Batmans. You have Adam West. Well, he's not playing Batman, but you have Kevin Conroy. Rest in peace to both of them. Especially after I remember when Adam West passed away. I watched this episode, but like watching it now, it hits very different now that Kevin Conroy is no longer with us. Like it hits very, very different. Um, and it really, really does suck that these two aren't around anymore. Um, so in a weird way, like I was watching it and it got me kind of emotional. Like it was like, because both these guys aren't around anymore. So yeah, other than that, it was just great to see them together. Like it was awesome. So yeah, Beware the Grey Ghost is definitely a classic. Okay, number 9 is I Am the Night. Now, this is a very, very depressing episode, but it's an episode that really like lifts me up when I'm down. Um, so basically there's a whole thing going on. Commissioner Gordon gets shot by these criminals, and Batman feels bad because he couldn't, prevent that. And then he starts to doubt himself and, doesn't want to be Batman anymore. And it's a very, very depressing episode. But, like, by the end, it lifts you right the hell up, because then later Robin talks to him and, you know, sets Batman in his ways. And, it's a very lifting episode. Like, it tells you that, like, when life's bad, like, you can't, let it get to you. Like, I don't know. That's what I got from it. But, it's just like, and then like the part that always gets me is when Batman's like talking and he's like saying that, I become a cliche, people don't like don't like take him like as seriously, like he's become like a gimmick, like, he's on t-shirts and, like he becomes very down on himself, and it's like, I don't know, that's the kind of the message I got from it. Like, life may be bad, but like, you know, it's gonna get better. Like, don't let it keep you down. And, of course, antics ensue, these criminals, they want, Commissioner Gordon. Batman comes, saves him at the hospital. Gordon says he is a hero. Um, and like I said, just very uplifting episode. I always love the end scene when, you know, the kid from earlier that, was doing something bad. He was, trying to better his life and he thanked Batman for it. Like, I always loved that end scene. So, yeah, this is a very great, uplifting episode. Definitely one of the best for sure. Okay, number 8. Number 8 is Almost Got Him. Definitely a classic. This is on many people's number one on their top 10 Batman animated series list. But I have it at number 8. But that does not excuse how great this episode really is, because it is a very great episode. So, you have the villains telling their stories of times they almost got Batman, and it's a very cool kickback episode. It's not really focusing on a certain story, it's just the villains talking, until it does focus on a certain story. um, but yeah, it's just very interesting. You have Killer Croc, so we think. We have Poison Ivy, Two-Face, Joker, Penguin. They're just talking, telling their stories of almost how they almost got Batman. Very interesting stories, especially Killer Croc's. But I'm not gonna give away what happens, but like it's a very great I mean, a lot of what happens. I mean, but I don't know. What? Screw it. I'm gonna say it. So, so Joker's story is basically the story that was going on during the episode where he had Catwoman kidnapped. Um, and let's just say Killer Croc was Batman the whole time. Batman had a Killer Croc disguise, and it's just great. I mean, every diehard Batman, well, not even Batman fan, like Batman the Animated Series fan, they obviously seen this episode, but it is a very, very great episode. Just because it's at number 8 doesn't mean I don't love it any less. Like, this is a very, very great episode. Okay, number 7 is Birds of a Feather. Now, this is a very, very great Penguin episode. The Penguin, I feel, is like a very, I don't want to say underrated Batman villain, but like he's one of the OG Batman villains. And Batman the Animated Series didn't use him that much, but when they did, I think they did pretty well, especially this episode. And also for me, this is kind of a relatable episode. I mean, obviously, like, I'm not disgustingly ugly like the Penguins, meant to be, but like in the aspect of being used by a woman, like, there's definitely some things I can relate to for this episode. But yeah, it's just a very, like, you feel bad for the Penguin, and this is my favorite, I guess you can say, reform episode, because they kind of had like different, like, villain reform episodes. This one's actually my favorite. I love how they, like, the Penguin is trying to better himself, trying to get, trying to lose the whole crime thing, but he gets manipulated by this rich girl and this really, like, this this real freaking snob guy that's always with her. I forgot his name, but like, you know, it's just like very sad because like it's like Penguin was almost there. Like he could have bettered himself, but obviously it's not, all the, you know, the rich girl's fault. I mean, it's still Penguin had a hand in it, but it's still like you still sympathize with him. Like Penguin is definitely up there for the Batman villains I sympathize with. He's like probably the third most villain that I sympathize with. We'll get to the other two. but but yeah, this is a very great Penguin episode, and you definitely feel sorry for him. So, yeah, that's why I love it. I love when they give you like sympathetic characters, and Penguin is definitely a sympathetic character in my book. Okay, number 6 is the Two-Face two-parter. Two-Face Part 1 and Part 2. I know it's a two-parter, so, I should probably have them separate, but no, it's one episode. Just because it's a two-parter doesn't mean it's two separate episodes. So what? Am I going to say I like Two-Face Part 1 and then leave out Part 2? Like, hell no. So maybe this is Sheehan, I don't know. But, it's one episode to me. It's Two-Face Part 1 and Part 2. But yeah. But this is a great two-parter. Okay, this is when Harvey Dent becomes Two-Face. And man, this is a very soul-crushing episode. Oh my God. You feel so bad for Harvey. Like, man. And, like I was saying, sympathetic characters. Two-Face is definitely a sympathetic character. And man, where do I even begin with this episode? It's just, man, it's just very depressing. That's the only word I can say about it. Bruce lost a friend. Harvey's evil. He's Two-Face. He's very split, which I never had like split personality, so I don't know how the hell that goes, but like, man, very, very soul crushing. You feel bad. Um, but yeah, definitely a sympathetic two-parter. And obviously Two-Face will become one of the big bads of the series. Probably the second most used villain next to Joker, if we're being honest. But yeah, man, there's nothing really else I can say about this two-parter. Very soul-crushing. It's obviously on the top of a lot of people's Batman the Animated Series episodes list. So I'm not going to go too further on it, but man, very, very soul-crushing. And that's pretty much the only word I can really describe it. Soul crushing, depressing, but man, damn good. Okay, next we have at number 5 another two-parter, Robin's Reckoning. Oh my God. There's a theme with this list. I love sympathetic episodes. I love depressing episodes. I don't know why. I just do. But Robin's Reckoning. Oh my God. So, Robin's parents' killer is out there. And Batman tries to hide it from Robin. Robin finds out, what he's hiding by searching the Bat computer. And we get into the flashbacks of how Dick Grayson became Robin. And man, I don't know. This is another one where I have to say soul crushing. Well, we obviously know the origin of Dick Grayson Robin, so I ain't going to go too further into that. But man, very, very soul crushing. But yeah, this is another great two-parter. Yeah, you feel bad for Robin. So yeah, there's really nothing else I have to say about it. You really just have to watch it. But yeah, Robin's Reckoning Part 1 and 2. This is gonna be the last two-parter on my list, I promise. But yeah, great two-parter. Okay, next is Legends of the Dark Knight. Now, this is actually a season 4 episode, which is commonly referred to as the new Batman Adventures. But I like to think of Batman the Animated Series and the new Batman Adventures as one show because, the new Batman Adventures, season 4, uses the same intro as Batman the Animated Series. So it really is just the same show. They just branded it like that because of the different character designs and, because it was tied in with Superman the Animated Series. So they wanted to make it different. But the new Batman Adventures isn't a different show, in my opinion. It really is just season 4 of Batman the Animated Series. So that's why you're going to see a couple of those episodes on here. But yeah, Legends of the Dark Knight. I fucking love this episode. So it's about 3 kids, telling stories. It's kind of like Almost Got Him in a weird way, except it's the point of view of strangers, like, who have seen Batman. But it's not like the people telling the stories. It's the people knowing people who told the stories. But anyway, it's a real, if you're a Batman fan, you'll love this episode because it's like depicting Batman like throughout the years. So like the first story is kind of a tribute to like the golden age, the 50s, the 60s, maybe a little bit on the 60s Batman show, but it has like that 60s comic book style to it where the Joker's robbing a museum, Batman and Robin show up. Robin's got the short shorts and they're stopping Joker. It's like really wacky. So yeah, it's depicting like, I'd say like that old like maybe 50s and 60s, like that golden age of comics. So yeah, that was cool. And then the girl who looks like Carrie Kelly Robin, and she tells the story of The Dark Knight Returns. So obviously, she looks like Carrie Kelly, so she tells the story. We show The Dark Knight Returns. We show Carrie Kelly as Robin. Which I accept. I accept that Carrie Kelly Robin because it's a different character. So it's a female Robin. It's a different character. So if it's a different character, I accept it. Just wanted to clear that up before anyone says some dumb shit. But yeah, so yeah, it tells the story of the Dark Knight Returns, does the whole iconic thing where Batman's fighting the mutants. And, I love the Dark Knight Returns. That's actually my favorite Batman graphic novel, my favorite Batman animated movie. So I obviously love this episode for depicting that. But yeah, so we get that. That was awesome. Then we get the actual Batman. They see something, showing up. It's Firefly going into this building. They follow. Then we see the actual Batman and he fights Firefly. So, yeah, really, really awesome episode. I love how they're depicting, different things of Batman throughout the years. We got the wacky 50s, 60s era. Then we get the Frank Miller Dark Knight Returns. So Really, really great episode. If you're a Batman fan, definitely check this one out. Okay, next at number 3, we have The Laughing Fish, which is my favorite Joker episode. Yeah, we're finally getting into a Joker episode on this list. A lot of you were probably panicking that we didn't get to one sooner. But yeah, this is my favorite Joker episode. I think this is the best Joker plot. You know, I love the Laughing Fish. I love that whole gimmick. I think this is one of Mark Hamill's best performances as Joker as well. You know, has a lot of great one-liners. You know, the guy goes, "Great Scott." He goes, "Actually, I'm Irish." That line always cracked me up. But yeah, this is your basic run-of-the-mill Joker plot. But what makes it great is kind of the weird team up between Batman and Bullock. Like, Bullock never trusts Batman. And then, like, even near the end, Bullock's still, like, you know, like when Batman saves Bullock, he's like, you know, get away from me. Like, but like eventually in like a certain point in the series, like Bullock does come around. But yeah, I always loved that Batman and Bullock dynamic. But yeah, what really sells is obviously the Joker and Harley Quinn, you know. Which this is like her second appearance on Batman the Animated Series. So yeah, but anyway, yeah, this is just a great classic Joker episode. You know, highly recommend this one. Just real classic. And my favorite Joker episode. Okay, number 2. Over the Edge. I fucking love this episode. Oh my god. This is another season 4 episode. But this is a fucking wild episode. And a very dark. This is probably the darkest episode of the show. So, okay. It starts off with the police, Gotham PD, chasing Batman and Robin in the Batcave. You know, Dick Grayson, Nightwing, comes to help them. At this point, Tim Drake is Robin. And we get into the flashback of Scarecrow killing Batgirl, so that happens. And then the whole thing of Gordon finding out who Batman is. He's Bruce Wayne. And yeah, it's just a crazy balls to the wall episode. And you're like sitting there watching, like, is this the end of Batman the Animated Series? Is this how they're going to end it, with Commissioner Gordon finding out, you know, who Batman is, and with Batgirl dying? You know, which was very, very ballsy for a Saturday morning cartoon, by the way. But yeah, and also the Scarecrow, man, on the 4th season. Oh my god. He looks fucking creepy. Like, I'm surprised it got away with that. But no, this is my favorite Scarecrow design. Oh my god. He looks fucking... He's like something out of Jeepers Creepers. Like, Jesus Christ. Oh my god. But anyway, this is a very, very, very dark episode. And throughout it, you're wondering what the hell is going on. You know, there's just so much that goes on in this episode. I don't even want to really give away what happens at the end, to be honest. Because this is one of those episodes you gotta watch and you gotta see what happens. Because It's crazy. It is very, very crazy. Oh my God. That's the only word I can really describe this episode. Oh my God. The amount of shit that happens throughout this one. But yeah, this one was fucking good. This was a great episode. Oh my God. Like throughout it, you're like, what the fuck is going on? And you think it's like the end of the show, but then it's like I don't really want to I can't give this one away. This one I can't give away. You have to see it for yourself. But oh my God. It's a very dark episode, but I fucking love it. It's awesome. But my number one, my favorite, and I think a lot of people can agree on this, is Heart of Ice. Oh my God, Heart of Ice. I cry every time. No, but you know, they took Mr. Freeze, a character that was never really taken seriously, and they were like, okay, we gotta, if he's gonna be on our show, we have to take him seriously. So they put out Heart of Ice, and oh my God, man, this is my favorite. This will always be my favorite Batman the Animated Series episode because it is so tragic. You know, Victor Freeze was a good man. And, you know, what happened to him, what happened to his wife was very tragic. And I absolutely love his character. So yeah, this episode, I mean, hey, if you know it, you know it, but like I absolutely love this episode. You know, like the score, oh my God. Man, there's nothing like Heart of Ice. You know, very tugs on the heartstrings. Man, very, very tragic, you know, and it's kind of also relatable because of, you know, businesses, you know, greedy people, like, but man, like, it is very tragic. And, you know, the thing with Mr. Freeze is all he wants to do is save his wife. Like, he's not even really a real villain. He does bad things, but like he just wants to save he's doing it for his wife. So yeah, no, very, very sad episode. Gets me every time. Like it tugs on the heartstrings a lot, but yeah, that's my number one. That will always be my number one. I really don't think there's any other episode that can top it. So, yeah, I love Heart of Ice. Definitely the best Batman the Animated Series episode ever. So, yeah. But that concludes my top 10 Batman the Animated Series episodes. Again, I absolutely love this show. I had to crank out a top 10. You know, as much as it pained me, I had to do it because I love this show. And I just needed a way to talk about it. So there you go. Those are my top 10 Batman the Animated Series episodes. Love this show. You know, I rewatch it at least probably 5 times a year. I try to rewatch it. You know, particularly my favorite episodes. But hell, like these 10 don't even really do it justice. I mean, there are so many other episodes I love. But, you know, those are like, I think those are the 10 that impact me the most. You know, the ones like I straight up love. The ride or dies, if you will. But anyway, that's my top 10 list of the best Batman the Animated Series. My top 10. Hope you enjoyed, and yeah, love Batman the Animated Series and always will. So, yeah.